I definitely think that as parents, we got to stop being so selfish. I think this is a situation where I think you're going to see this on full display. Feel so sorry for these kids, but what I got to do is I got to give you a disclaimer first. If you've never been to my channel before, talk about these beautiful babies right here. Let me give you a disclaimer first. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from dailymail.com. They do a great job with the article, so thank you, Daily Mail. 5-year-old twins have been found, and I don't know what's going on with so many twins being harmed in California. Like, I've done a number of stories, This story is actually out of Florida, my apologies. But I remember I did a number of stories out of California where there were twins harmed, but nonetheless, 5-year-old twins have been found dead in their beds after their mother jumped off a bridge to her death in what investigators believe to be a tragic murder-suicide. Katoria Hutto, the mother right here on the left-hand side of the screen, 31 years old, was seen driving to a lake in Oviedo, Florida, Oviedo. I hope that's how you pronounce that, because I'm not real good with some of these names I've never seen. On Friday morning, where she got out of her car and was seen jumping from the bridge. Her body was pulled out of the water by a local fisherman. The suicide triggered a wellness check of Hutto's 5-year-old twins, who were discovered dead at their home in their beds. So I'm telling you guys, we absolutely believe that she murdered these kids. It was absolutely senseless. And in situations like this, they won't give the fathers a chance. They won't give the family members a chance. And it's just like she had every opportunity to walk away from this situation, even to not even get pregnant from the jump. No pun intended about the jump. But to do this to these babies, and these are beautiful little kids too. They didn't deserve that at all. Deputies found a gun on the ground in the Hutto's house where the twins were found, but investigators did not find any obvious signs of trauma to their bodies. The medical examiner is yet to conduct a toxicology test to determine the cause of death, so we'll have to put that out when we get it. According to the witness who phoned police, Hutto climbed out of the passenger seat window after parking her silver car on the SR 417 bridge into Lake Jesup and then jumped in. The twins, by the name of Ahmad and Ava Jackson, have special needs. So that could be a motive. Special needs. The little boy and little girl had not been to school since October the 13th, according to Sheriff Dennis Lemma. According to deputies, the house did not have much food or furniture. They suggest that this might indicate that the family was struggling financially. We just did a story earlier where we talked about there was a mother who ended up stabbing her child and burning the house, or tried to burn the house down, because she was about to get evicted and ended up murdering her child. So did the special needs play a part in this? Did her struggling financially play a part in this? Again, I use the hashtag babies for benefits to indicate that it seems like people only, and maybe she only had these children because she was trying to use the benefits from them, maybe considering the fact that some states, some situations actually give you more benefits when your children do have special needs when it comes to medication and how much funding and how much help they give you. Maybe she wasn't getting that funding. Maybe she wasn't getting child support. I don't know what it was. But like I said, to me, this sounds like this was motivated by the fact that you weren't getting the benefits that you thought you should have been getting. But let's keep going. The family's house was roped off by police as investigators continued to gather evidence from the scene. The Seminole County Sheriff's Department office said that a series of events fit the description of a murder-suicide. Hutto, the mother, had acquired her home through a nonprofit charity, Habitat for Humanity, known for building houses for people who can't afford them. And who are they usually willing to help? That's right, mothers. In a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, and thank you for that in the chat, people are able to acquire SSI when their children have special needs. So thank you for pointing that out. Let me say that again. The only reason she got this particular house was through a nonprofit charity called Habitat for Humanity. You guys can look them up. And they're known for building houses for people who can't afford them. You're supposed to participate in their program, and they're supposed to be able to help you get a house. And I think you still have to pay a mortgage on it. It's a program you have to qualify for. Hutto's mother revealed that her daughter had faced a lifelong battle with depression, but there were no outward signs of rapid decline or worrying reports, according to the Sheriff's Office and the Florida Department of Children and Families. The mother of two had been working for a temp agency doing clerical jobs and had been seen at work just a few days earlier. One of the Hutto's neighbors, Latasha Reynolds, said, "I'm absolutely heartbroken. I have empathy. I don't have to know her. I have a daughter of my own, and what first comes to me is that she may not have had anyone to reach out to." Reynolds says she worried if Hutto felt isolated. Again, that would be a good reason to not have children. Having children is a choice. You can't put that off on the children, nor is that an excuse. There can never be an excuse to hurt children. Let me publicly identify the twins despite their father's lack of response to their outreach. Let me give you guys a fair usage, and I'm going to only play a couple of these news videos. I got a bunch of them, but I'm going to play just a couple. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor and please hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. It always helps us share these stories wherever you can share them. Try to get these stories out there, okay? Here we go.
Twin 5-year-olds killed. How is still a mystery.
Deputies say the kid's mother later jumped.
County neighborhood rocked by the deaths of two young children at the hands of their mother.
The sheriff says it appears Katoria Hutto, who goes by the name Tori, murdered her 5-year-old twins, shown here in this picture from 3 years ago, and then jumped to her death in Lake Jessup. West 2's Greg Fox has been following this story for us all day. And Greg, the sheriff says there's been no violent history involving this woman before.
That's right. The sheriff's office has been talking to the mother of Tori Hutto, who spent a few days here at the home that you see here on Alexander Avenue that was owned by Tori, and said that Tori had experienced mental health issues her whole life, but never in a violent way until today. From Chopper 2, you can see a car on a tow truck on the 417 toll road south on the Lake Jessup Bridge. We now know that was 31-year-old Katoria Tori Hutto's car. One driver saw her parked on the side Friday morning.
Who saw a motorist stop their vehicle on the crest of the bridge, and what appeared to be a woman slide herself out of the passenger window of the car and jump into the St. Johns River.
Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lima says a short while later, Hutto's body was pulled from Lake Jessup. But by then, deputies had already rushed to her home on Alexander Avenue near Sanford. When no one answered the door, they forced their way in, finding the bodies of Hutto's twin 5-year-olds, Ahmad and Ava Jackson, shown here in a 3-year-old photo.
They went into the house and found the two children in bed who appeared at first to be sleeping, later to identify that they are deceased inside the house right now.
The sheriff says a gun and bullets were found nearby, but there was no sign of trauma, and the cause of the children's deaths is unknown. Authorities say the 5-year-olds were special needs students at UCP Seminole Charter School, but had not shown up since last Friday. The school declined comment. Hutto acquired her house from Seminole Apopka Habitat for Humanity, moving in just over a year ago. They too have declined comment. While the sheriff doesn't know what may have triggered this apparent double murder-suicide, he urges anyone struggling with mental health challenges to seek help.
We want to make sure that people know that there's help out there, there's resources out there, there's people who are willing to fund, to love, support, and trust, to lift families up so they don't have to experience this. And I think that
And of course, detectives with the sheriff's office are trying to not only determine the causes of death of the two children inside this house, but also the answer to the question why their mother would take their lives and her own.
My whole thing is that I just believe that they're selfish. It doesn't matter how much money you give a person. It doesn't matter how much you help them. Just a bad person is just going to do bad things. And that's just what I'm convinced of. I just think that some people should not be parents. I think this is a very evident case that this mother should have never been a parent.
Now at 5, 2 young children died at the hands of their own mother. It is a heartbreaking story that we've been following out of Sanford.
Yeah, we have team coverage this evening. Watch 2's Greg Fox is live outside the woman's home near Sanford. And Michelle Meredith spoke with mental health experts. We're going to begin with Greg Fox. So is there any indication what may have triggered all of this?
So far, no, and that's the frustrating thing for detectives. They've been talking with family members of Tori Hutto, and they know that she had mental health challenges, but nothing that was violent. And about a year ago, they moved into this house after they acquired it from Habitat for Humanity, she and the kids, and everything seemed to be going well until the shocking events of today. 5-year-old twins Ahmed and Ava Jackson are shown just a couple of weeks ago wearing their uniforms for the UCP Seminole Charter School. This is their mom, 31-year-old Katoria Tori Hutto, in a 3-year-old photo provided to WESH 2 News by a family friend. Family, friends, and neighbors are grieving the loss of both children and their mother, the boy and girl found inside the family's home on Alexander Avenue Friday morning. All of this started when a motorist passed Hutto's car on the Lake Jessup Bridge and saw her jump over the side.
I got to give a shout out real quick to Georgia's Abused and Forgotten Little Angels, because that to me sounds like an advocate right there. And I'm truly grateful to have you in the chat. Thank you for joining the channel membership. And it is such an honor and to just have you in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Wanted to shout you out. Thank you so much. You said, you've inspired me to create my own crime channel. And I want you to, here's what I want you to do. I want you to start sending me your videos if you can. And I want to promote your channel on here. So what we try to do with this true crime community with a bunch of us is we like to share people's channel, people's videos and stuff like that. If you're an advocate for children, we absolutely want to support you. So much love. Much love.
mom jumps off the bridge, commits what's obviously now a suicide and what looks to be a homicide that is contained within this house.
Though a gun and bullets were found inside the home, in the bedroom where the kids were found in their bunks, they were not shot.
It does not appear that there's any blunt trauma. It does not appear that they were the victims of gunfire. So there would have to be a method of death that the medical examiner will have to help us understand through toxicology reports. But again, no signs of trauma to the body. And the deputies that went on the inside said it looked like two innocent 5-year-old children sleeping.
Neighbors wonder what could drive someone to take the lives of innocent kids and their own.
I am absolutely heartbroken. I have empathy. I don't have to know her to feel. I have a daughter of my own. And what first comes to me is that she must have not had anyone to reach out to. But I know in my community that mental health is just now being taken seriously.
And again, that was just one of the neighbors that we talked to here in the neighborhood today. We just received a couple of minutes ago a statement from the UCP Charter School. Quote, "The entire UCP community is deeply saddened by the sudden passing of two of our Seminole County Schools kindergarten students and feels shocked by the circumstances. We immediately made available grief counseling for classmates, teachers, and school family members." And of course, this investigation continues. We'll update you at 6. Live in Seminole County, Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
Tonight, a memorial has come together just outside of the home where two 5-year-old twins were found dead in Sanford after their mother is believed to have died by suicide. West 2's Haley Crumblehome heard from people in the neighborhood still processing everything that's happened.
Balloons and candles surround the mailbox on Alexander Avenue, outside the home where Katoria Hutto lived with her 5-year-old twins, Ahmad and Ava Jackson.
I've never seen anything of this extent in this community, period. Not just this street, but this community. So it's definitely a lot to take in.
It's the kind of tragedy no one could see coming.
As far as those of us that were closer to her, we knew of just certain things that she would share with us, but definitely nothing to signal anything like this happening. So absolutely not.
Gabrielle Buggs knew the family, and in the days since the tragedy happened, she says it's been hard for neighbors to process. Some helped add to the growing memorial outside of the family's home.
The memorial actually started with just a passerby, and then myself, other neighbors, we pretty much built onto it. It's just a way for us to truly remember the family, to remember the mom, the kids that were there, and just what we gained to know of them. And it's just our way of trying to heal as a community.
After what's happened, she says neighbors have been checking in on each other.
It's been just a lot to piece together. We all just are surrounding each other the best way that we can, loving on each other, just trying to uplift each other during this difficult time to try to make sense of what has happened, because definitely none of us expected this at all.
In Seminole County, Haley Crumblehome, West 2 News.
Well, the cause of the death of the two 5-year-olds is still under investigation tonight. Now, if you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, you can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That number is right there on your screen. It's simple, 988.
You know what's crazy about this? They're making this so much easier that you can remember a number like 988, like 911, 411. Super simple stuff. No matter how many resources you put out there, and people still continue to hurt, murder, and abuse children. There's no excuse for that. I don't care what type of mental issues, depression she was going through. There's no excuse to hurt your children because you made a conscious decision to do that. I think that this was premeditated, and I think her name absolutely deserves to be smeared all over the place for what she did to these beautiful, innocent babies who deserved every right to grow up and become something great, deserved every right to maybe even be, to grow up with their father, because I think their father was the one that put up the GoFundMe. You guys can look that GoFundMe up under that name, Ava and Ahmad Jackson, and they're asking for $15,000. They've collected about 2/3 of that so far. So if you want to support that, you definitely can. But to me, this is the ultimate sign of a selfish person. So to those children, RIP. To the mother, she'll never face justice. It's very, very unfortunate. But thank you guys so much for listening to the story. And use those resources, man. If you guys are having issues or anything like that, need to talk to somebody. There are plenty of resources out there in every state, every county, available all the time in different languages. Get the help that you need. Don't put children in a position like this. These angels deserve so much better from all of us. Okay? Thank you.